And we're actually live. That was a shame there. You just missed Raj with his head in his hands because yet again he's delighted to be on another kerfuffle broadcast. Look at
Crash TV
experience, isn't it? Look at the smile on his face. Look at that. Welcome, Raj. First of all, you're in the top box, so you get headline ratings. You're right.
I'm very well, thank you. I can't wait to see how this unfolds, and I'm delighted that you're here, unlike previously.
There's no there's no live product demo, so we won't do that. And Matt Goddard coughing away in the background. Hopefully okay. Are you okay, Matt?
Yeah, absolute pleasure to be here at last, Simon.
Are you?
And when do I have to call you Simon? Whaley.
No, that's weird. That's when my ass was walking out of the business. Bye, Simon.
You know I was on the other side.
Very exciting today. Very exciting. We have the baby that has been created over the last few months from the burgeoning foundations platform that Matt heads up over at Reapit. Raj, you've obviously had a fairly, I think it's basic, limited integration with Reapit over the years, but this is the next generation, isn't it? The next step now in terms of getting these two Leviathans, Reapit on the CRM side of things and Raj with this Fixflo solution here, working in tandem together. So just give us a bit of background, guys. How long have you been working on this? Was it from the get-go of Foundations being launched?
I'm very happy to give this sort of potted history. Yeah. So, in fact, it started with you, Simon, about 8 years ago, and then there was a hiatus. So we were due to integrate our repair reporting interface and tool into Reapit, and you and I discussed that. You probably don't remember, about 8 years ago, and then nothing happened for about 4 years, and then we got an integration live, so a direct integration, and the foundation platform has really opened it up. So over time, we've seen most of our clients move to our full repairs and maintenance solutions. So the whole life cycle, contractor management, contractor apps, automated invoicing, the whole shebang. And what Foundations has done is allow us to plug in all of the functionality directly into the RPS system, meaning no data duplication, no data entry. It's plug and play. It's genuinely awesome.
Yeah, genuinely awesome. I like some of this.
That's a tagline and a half, isn't it?
And Matt, from your point of view, obviously they've been long-term partners of ours and everything else. So it must have been quite a natural first step to get Fixflo on the Foundations platform from your point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously I've known Raji for a while. I think it started with an introduction from you after just joining Reapit, and then a very awkward conversation on a train from Victoria to Denmark Hill where I couldn't remember his name for the life of me. And it was only made worse by the fact I used the excuse, great to see you, I'm getting off of this stop now. And he said, so am I. All good. Given my background in property management, it was always a good fit for us. And having had the basic, Fixflo Basic, I think it was called, I'm not sure if that's still the brand, integration through our consumer portals, and then step to where we are now. And also see the things that Rajiv and the team have done from the first launch back in November, December time to where they are now, and the roadmap that we're building of what more we want to go into that integration as well. And
you've got a huge amount of mutual clients, haven't you?
There are more than 80 mutual clients. So that's companies rather than offices, obviously.
So that's hundreds and hundreds of...
hundreds of offices. And so I guess we've set a pretty simple task or internal task, which is we'd love to get one mutual client live on the Foundations Fixflo integration per working day. So that's
like a Simon Whale KPI. I can't be asked thinking of anything else. Let's just do one a day.
Everybody seems relatively comfortable, and because of the way that Reapit clients can express interest within the App Store, we know that there are lots of people who've been waiting for this. So we've got them lined up and we're going to work through, and I think it will deliver them real value. And we'll come to what the integration does in a moment. But the aim was to work in partnership with Reapit to make it a no-brainer.
Yeah, and you have been kind enough to share it with us. It does look an absolute no-brainer. When I think back, Matt, we could do some really tight integrations, couldn't we, with, in the past, but it was that whole reinventing the wheel again, wasn't it, with those, and any change could obviously break the integration, and given just the sheer, we've got over 600 suppliers just on the kerfuffle platform at the moment, and pretty much all of those are going to want to be integrating for you. So that's what the whole foundations thing was about, wasn't it? Was looking at what the marketplace is now, looking at what your own clients want, which is really that freedom, that app style ability to do it. And again, very exciting it must be just to see some of these things starting to coming out of the resource labs, as it were.
Yeah, no, very much so. And as you know, the integrations historically, or legacy integrations, as we're calling them now, were bespoke, and it took a lot of effort on both sides to do those. The beauty from a PropTech point of view is anyone can sign up to the developer portal, begin building something, and publish it in our app marketplace, and that's immediately in front of all the estate agents to download. And then it's not a case of saying we'd like to use this particular piece of PropTech functionality and then it go through that normal process of logging a ticket and being installed, and the weeks that pass in terms of doing that. It's literally, you can go into the app marketplace within your Reapit Agency Cloud CRM, click to install it, and you're off and running. And that's really a massive opportunity for the PropTech to do it. But what's been really enlightening for me, and I should have known it when we got people like Paul Wood at Pygate and Crone and others, is the number of clients who are using the Foundations Marketplace and the App Store Marketplace to build.
I think that's just so exciting, isn't it? That almost democratization, which is a wanky phrase, but actually is true. It is, yes. It explains why Raj was waiting 4 years for the first things to happen. But those people that are in that kind of that mid-tier, where they have some skills as well themselves, and they want to now change something within the platform that they're using as their core business with Reapit is really powerful.
Absolutely. And look at some of the people who have built stuff. You've got Kai over at Keaton's with his area. You've got Michael with Not Dayton and the stuff he's doing. Everyone's got brilliant ideas, and this allows agents as well to do it. But obviously, importantly, people like Rajiv, who we've had that relationship with for a number of years. I think the other one that really sort of was positive for me is, Brad, obviously from SMS Speedway, who was one of the first partners from 20 odd years ago. He was also one of the early adopters with Foundations, and he and Christine and the team got a huge number of ideas and are building. I think we've got 2 more apps launching next month to bring some of those to the marketplace. Great.
And look, I mean, one of the things, it was a weakness for us, wasn't it? Let's be honest, but it wasn't, sorry, I say it for us. It was a weakness for every CRM, until this kind of, if there was one thing you could kind of throw at Reapit, it was like, well, we want to have integration with X, Y, Z. And what you've done, which is really, really clever, which did leave a bit of a tear coming down my eye when I did see it, was from being kind of behind the curve, you've now just made a step change ahead of so many of the current providers out there, haven't you?
Absolutely. And it's not one we'll cover today, but where partners and PropTechs can take it further and add to the CRM, launch the apps within the CRM, extend it, augment it, and even replace screens. It allows to do that. It's not just sort of open API as the term gets bandied around. It's so much more than that. And we'll see that with what Rajiv's done.
And just on that, by the way, though, so, I mean, it's not like you guys have hit a glass ceiling yet in terms of, all the biggest agents. But one of the things that has become really, really clear as you've scooped up more and more of the larger agents is the remaining are the ones that were always the hardest to convince, which are actually those who have their own bespoke packages. And that, who feel like they need to have more flexibility. The Foundations platform really gives you the perfect opportunity to. It's a Boris Johnson, isn't it? To have your cake and eat it, really, isn't it? They can have now the security, the solidity, the scalability of a Reapit platform, with the ability to still essentially, keep it customized to their own requirements and matching their own particular way of doing things.
It's taking that customization and workflow process that we've always been very good at to the next level, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Very exciting. It's very, very good. So, why should your mutual clients be getting excited, Raj? From your side, what would you highlight as the main benefits?
So I was using an overall description. It would be all the benefits of Fixflo with no compromise. So you get all of the benefits of a workflow, automation, compliance management, and mitigation system. So everything we deliver, which is used in well over 1 million properties across the UK, with none of the compromise that was there before. So you get to use everything we offer. All of your data will sync in real time from Reapit. So no data duplication, no missed data. All of the updates will push back from Fixflo into Reapit. So even if you have people who are maintenance specialists and branched off who won't log into Fixflo, the branched off, if the landlord or tenant were to walk in, let's imagine it's post-COVID times, and say, what's going on at my property, the real-time updates are there. Suppliers can update, create, or even just email their invoices in. We pull all the information out, and then when the job's closed, it all pushes straight back into Reapit with the audit history. So your CRM is your single source of truth. You don't have to do any data duplication, data cleansing, or data matching. It's all there. And you get real-time updates of everything happening in Fixflo across your business within RPS.
Yeah, shit, almost like you've worked on this. You see, you do know we don't do preparation on the Kerfuffle podcast, don't you? Anyway.
We spent a lot of time. So this isn't something that we developed in isolation. So it's been in partnership with the team at Reapit, and sort of hats off to the development team there, because there were changes that we asked for in terms of the APIs and the way what we were looking to achieve, and they were really responsive, and our development team said that they were phenomenal to work with. But we also validated this with clients. So we're not here saying we're launching this and nobody's using it. We've been through a beta testing program with clients. We've developed this hand in hand with clients, and Matt in particular has been on client calls where we validated what we're building, because we don't want to put it out and not to deliver what people expect. And this isn't the end of where we're going. So we're going to carry on developing, improving, iterating as we go. But this has been a real partnership efforts between our beta tester clients, the Reapit team, particularly Matt, and the Fixflo team to deliver something that works out of the box.
What I love about that is it's not one of the agent's biggest frustrations is that it was developed in isolation in the ivory tower, the techie ivory tower, and that kind of. I remember the amount of times when we'd try and do the Apple unveil, and it's like, if only you'd kind of come to us and spoken, because actually that won't work with us because of XYZ reason. What is really just great from all sides is now that kind of MVP approach. Actually, it means that there isn't really an MVP, is there, when you go live with this stuff anymore? It's not like people need to kind of wince and say, oh God, are they going to be the normal bugs and things like that? Because you've worked on this so as you say, so collaboratively with all the key, again, another wanky phrase, stakeholders.
But so I just want to put it out there. It's not perfect in the sense that there are more enhancements we can bring, but we know that what is out there will deliver huge benefits to mutual clients.
Oh, hang on! Am I sensing unhappiness in the happy marriage? Is that all down to Reapit then, Raj? Is that what you're saying?
No. So we have a roadmap to make things better and better.
Okay.
And that's the way we do everything. So we work on a 2-week sprint release cycle. So every 2 weeks we upgrade Fixflo. We have a roadmap to keep enhancing this. And I guess when we come to what the integration currently does, the partnership currently does, I'll talk about some of the things that we're looking to build in the future. But even now, out of the box, you're going to get efficiency savings, operational benefits, and risk mitigation just by plugging together 2 systems you already use.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? It's where the sum of the parts is greater, isn't it? Because you're doing that. And Matt, I suppose you're just echoing. That must be lovely to hear, isn't it? To actually not to have a supplier frustrated there, but talking, really positively about how good the process was, how adaptable. Because of course, Reapit's such a massive organisation now that I think sometimes you get hit with a bit unfairly with the old oil tanker style thing. So for Raj to say things came up and you guys were adaptable and were able to pivot it must be nice to hear.
It's the whole ethos of Foundations that obviously when Dawson joined and he came out with that concept and sort of kicked on from there. We had the sneak preview in November 2019. It was very much that bringing new technology to Reapit approach, and not just Raj, even it's great to hear those comments, but the whole purpose of it is being open. Anyone can sign up to the developer.reapit.com. They can go in there, create their own apps, start developing things, publish them in the marketplace, but also they can see our roadmap if they feel that there's a feature that's missing, and be very open. It's extensive, what we've built within Foundations, but it's by no means exhaustive. And we do have cracking ideas coming out from partners who say, well, we want to be able to do this, and whether it's the team at Fixflo or others. We're also obviously got a global footprint with these things as well, and there's other prop techs from sort of Australia, as an example, who are asking for features. You can see those in the roadmap. You can see them working through the Kanban boards and going into production. And it is that new technology we're able to embrace with all these things. But the beauty for me is really what we did with Fixflo Basic and our sort of consumer portals was great, because it meant a tenant could report a fault and it appeared in the CRM. But now it totally pins within that ecosystem, so that you can see that fault right the way through. But all your accompanying Reapit products, whether it's your landlord portal or your tenant portal, they're all being represented. Or maybe it's someone who doesn't use Fixflo. So an office coordinator. So when that sort of tradie walks into the branch and asks for the set of keys, you've actually got it in your main CRM. You don't need to be asking the property manager in head office or in another room, is this person actually got those keys? And all the figures and stats that our clients use and run off the back of maintenance that fit in with their portfolio landlord reports that pull in client accounts and other things, it all works in harmony. It's not a disparate system anymore.
No, and you mentioned the Australian thing. One of the things that I remember some suppliers getting almost a bit irate that they felt that we were holding back their business because that was beholden on us to do the integration. But what that works in reverse now, doesn't it? Is that actually these companies they actually get a chance to link into the ecosystem that Reapit now has, as long as they've got something compelling and they do the work properly in the foundations, they can get it out there in a quicker way to your massive client base than ever before.
Exactly. Once an app's been approved, and we're more Apple in that respect than Google, we do have a product team who review these, and Raj knows this. We go through validation. Ultimately, we want the product that we put in front of people to be fit for purpose and on a level with what we expect. So we do go through and work with people on that approval process. But once it's approved and it's in the app marketplace, it's in front of our 400 plus enterprise clients.
That's why the kerfuffle Tinder app has been knocked back multiple times, I assume.
Yeah, it's swiping the wrong direction, Whaley.
There's a little whale-related flag that goes on. He's trying to get to the data. Okay, fantastic. So this is great. And as you've alluded to there, Raj, this is not the finished thing by any means. This will develop as both products go forwards. Matt, just tell me though. Remind me. Is one of the main benefits of the Foundations platform as well that it does help solve that issue whereby when both parties do upgrades, in the past that was always a very high risk point where it could break the integration. The way that Foundations has been created mitigates that to a large degree, doesn't it?
Yeah, so the way that we're working now is we're fully CI/CD, so we're releasing upgrades all the time, and they're getting patched in. I know you know what that means, Si. But we're iterating. Both products iterate on a sprint cycle. We're putting them out there, and they go through sort of staging before they go into production. So there's it's no longer where we're the beholden to us. Make sure that the DLLs and integrations we've built with the partner, it's very much that marketplace and that developer portal being upgraded, having gone through it, and those guys are hooking into that.
Okay. Absolutely cool. We got some slides, Raj. Do you want me to knock those up for you?
Love for you to do that.
Good. No, of course, that's now the challenge. Okay, let's.
Failed first attempt.
No, I haven't. There we are. But you can still see
that. Yes. So this is an overview slide. So I'm going to be Chris Whitty and say next slide, please.
Excellent.
So just
stats.
I know you do. So this is just an overview of what Fixflo Professional, our full system, typically delivers. So 18% of issues are self-resolved by tenants following the in-system guidance. We drive up first-time fix rates. So it was 92%. I think currently I can get some more up-to-date stats. It's all, the COVID situation has sort of changed some of these numbers because you can't get access as often, but 92% was a sort of pre-COVID stat. And for those of you who care about your ESG, so the environmental part, which is coming to the fore, particularly with COP26, you're going first time fix drives down your carbon footprint. It's good news all round. And typically our clients can manage 35% more properties with Fixflo than without, so helping businesses to scale effectively and efficiently. So that's sort of.
Look, I assume that was why it was the last slide stat on the slide there, isn't it? I mean that's just got to appeal to absolutely everyone. That's a staggering productivity increase, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's particularly for the way we've built the integration via Foundations, there'll be an ancillary benefit around reduction in overhead and time spent processing invoices, which I'll come to as part of the integration piece. So next slide, please.
Yeah,
I'm liking this. There is Greg. Greg is awesome. He's director at Martin Gerard, all a Property Mark board member. They are Fixflo clients and very happy Fixflo clients. And I guess the key 3 benefits to cover off are no data entry or duplication. It basically sits on top of your Reapit database. It superpowers maintenance, so you can automate the process. You can help contractors self-serve in terms of quote generation straight into both Fixflo and Reapit, and invoice generation and automated updates, so text reminders to tenants before appointments. So all of those good things, and it works out of the box, so it should just plug straight into your Reapit system. So would you like to go on to the next slide, please? And hopefully this is the tricky one for you. If you could press the play button, there is a brief overview video.
Thank you for talking to me as if I'm a child. Now I've got to make it work. Okay.
Using Reapit and thinking about using Fixflo's specialist repairs and maintenance management solution? Enjoy best-in-class repairs and maintenance software that works out of the box. Provide contractors and tenants with self-service tools built onto your RPS system. Streamline your processes and manage 35% more properties without extra workload. It does so by retrieving all of the managed property records from your Reapit system, along with any associated landlords, occupiers, and agent records. Fixflo is all about maintenance, so we'll pull across all contractor records to make sure that you have the right suppliers to instruct those jobs too. The integration won't just pull this information across once, but will in fact ensure that details held in Fixflo are updated daily to match those in Reapit. We also know that one of the key ingredients of success for any property management business is excellent customer service. For that reason, the integration empowers your team with real-time updates of an issue as it's being progressed in Fixflo. Once it's closed, we'll make all costs, invoices, and PDF summaries available in Reapit. Everyone will have instant access to the info they need, right where they need it, making it easier to serve customers faster with less back and forth. Get in touch now to find out more about our integration with Reapit and how it could streamline your property maintenance for your business.
That's really powerful, guys, isn't it? I mean, the first thing that comes across there is the sheer amount of information that you're moving around without the need to obviously rekey or anything else there. Property managers are going to be high-fiving, aren't they, if they were that excitable?
I think so. You got the operational benefits, but also I think Matt touched on and may want to go into a bit further. But the fact that we're driving all of the information back through Reapit enriches the reporting. So you're not getting a partial picture there. You're getting all of the data from Fixflo is being updated within Reapit, meaning that all of your reports are a complete end to end. Matt, do you want to pick up on that?
Yeah. So Matt, is that then? So power reports that you have in RPS, they can access this information that you're pulling in from Fixflo.
So it depends on the types of reports you run. We've got some clients who've got sort of premium landlords is always the example I come to, where once a month you want to be sending out a portfolio report that isn't just here's all the money you've had, this is the rent that's come in, this is the rent that's outstanding, fees, etc. But you also want to say, look at these, the repairs that have come through, these are repairs that have been completed, maybe it's average job size, that sort of thing that we present for premium landlords, portfolio landlords. That's all within the system and reportable from that point of view. Whereas if it was just, I'm only going to do my maintenance in Fixflo, then that's a part of those reports that suddenly becomes a bit of a void. Same's true of our like landlord portals as an example. They always show works orders and the works order status if the client wants to see that. So if the agency wants to show to landlords and to tenants the outstanding works orders have been completed on a property, then our online portals can do that. But if that's going on in Fixflo separately and disparately to the works orders that are in Reapit, then obviously either A, they're out of date and not relevant to what you presented to your landlord, and that part of the product becomes redundant, or B, it's not there at all. And so just by having it as part of that ecosystem, and it means that those extra products that our clients use have all that relevant and up-to-date as well. And for more than anything, as I touched on earlier, it's the workflows of the other parts of the business. Now, maybe you've got a corporate services department and you've got another corporate speaking to you saying, oh, hold on, what about this tenancy that I've got on the go? That corporate person might not necessarily have access to Fixflo, because why would they? They're not a property manager, but they can see within that screen that's key to the property record, oh, actually, yes, I can see you've had those jobs raised, and I can actually see that those jobs were completed in a decent time because that information is coming back from Fixflo. Same true on maybe a renewal, and you're negotiating a renewal. Again, it's renewals teams don't necessarily have access to Fixflo, but they can see that information in one place being driven back there by obviously this integration.
So the whole transparency, communication will be improved by having this. So is there any reason at all you can think of why a mutual Reapit Fixflo client wouldn't have this turned on?
We're allowed to say no.
Not really. I mean, I know my name is Simple Simon, but there's just no reason at all, is there?
I mean, I can't think of a reason why a client wouldn't do that.
There's not like a specific way that they work that means that it just that would no.
No, I mean, I'd be interested in people. Please do contact me via LinkedIn or email me or call me or whatever. But this should only be upside, and I'd quite like to underline the fact that there is no additional monthly cost to the client for this. So
yeah, can we talk about, I suppose, the elephant in the room there? So first of all, I think you've always said, Matt, haven't you, that the agents won't have to pay for these integrations? Is that right?
That's the point I was going to make. Is there is no additional cost for the Fixflo integration. We're quite transparent on the cost for foundations. Now, anybody can sign up to that developer.reapit.com and see the portal as part of onboard and sign up. You see the costs that the partners have to pay for that, but it's a very, very low cost for API consumption, and it's like a penny at the most expensive. So I don't know how much Raj's are, although I was looking at the usage last night. But if you take something like an AML check and you go into a contact record, that might be 1p to look up that contact via our API. So for every AML check, maybe you say it's 2 or 3 pence. And if you're then finding that actually you're being charged a heck of a lot more for using foundations. But majority of our partners, it's part of the offering that they provide to our mutual clients.
And I think there's an urban myth, I don't know whether I started it, that this is somehow expensive to the suppliers themselves. And some of those have said that they're going to pass on the cost. But Raj, from what you're saying is that once you've actually got into the real world testing of this and used the calculators and everything else that Matt has there, that just isn't necessary, is it? At least for the way you're using it.
I'm happy to talk through the process we went through. So as Matt said, the pricing is transparent, and it's based on the number of API calls that are used. And so in abstract, that doesn't make very much sense. So what we did is we worked in partnership with our beta clients and with Matt in particular, so that we got some people live to understand what the cost would be. And when we're in reality, and I know every system will be different, but we're doing quite a lot of updates to and fro. The cost wasn't material. So we thought the sensible thing and the right thing to do would be not to charge an additional monthly fee for that. So our clients will just carry on paying their Fixflo fee effectively, or if they're new, they'll pay for the Fixflo system. There's a setup fee, which we usually have anyway, but that in reality, the API costs were not material, I guess is the key point. But we only knew that because we went through the testing process. And so for other people out there looking at it in abstract, I'd encourage you to perhaps follow that process and really get a couple of people live and see what the costs are. And one of the things we learned was that some of the way in which we were accessing the APIs was pretty dumb. And so we've, as part of our continuous improvement of this, have worked to reduce the number of API calls. But you don't know that. It's all theoretical till it's real. Make it real if you're looking to build.
So from a layman's perspective, as you kind of get to know under the hood the Reapit framework, you can do things better, obviously more efficiently, to save money and to actually help the process and the way it works within the app itself.
Yeah. And that's absolutely the relationship and the partnership we've done with Raj has been echoed across other partners as well. And we've actually, we're obviously fairly embryonic, having gone into beta this time last year for foundations, but we've actually got a number of partners now who, when we're talking to people, say, well, why don't you do a pilot? And we have the concept of launching that privately, so it's not visible in the marketplace. You can say, actually, I'm going to use it with one or two sort of pilot clients, garner their feedback, look at it, and then publish it to the wider marketplace as and when you've had that, rather than do the reverse, push it out there into the marketplace and find that maybe there are some challenges that would have been flushed out during that beta phase. But it's that relationship, and it's not just myself and Rajiv doing these things. You know, we've both got a huge teams that we work with, especially for us on the developer portal. Yeah, I actively encourage people, if they've got questions that aren't covered by the documentation, and I say this, and it's not meant to be glib, we spent as much time writing the documentation for the developer portal as we did actually writing the code. I say I've not done code since C++ in 20 years ago, but that's true. We put the effort into documentation so people can self-serve. They don't want to be on support teams asking how this works and that works and whatever else. But we do have live chat on there as well. And that live chat isn't into people who maybe just logging and flogging tickets. That's live chat straight in to the teams on the foundations, various teams, whether it's platform or architecture or agency cloud. The right person would jump in there and respond to those queries.
Yes, it's fantastic. How easy is it to get on? So obviously for the Reapit clients and the mutual Fixflo ones that are out there, they see this, they think, oh, this is, we've got to give this a go. How easy is it to get set up on board? Does it need training, or is it?
So that's a good question. It's relatively nuanced in answer, but I'll give you the simplest and then I'll explain the nuances. Okay. So if you are interested in this, please go to the App Store, the Marketplace within Foundations, click there, express an interest in Fixflo. That sends us a notification. So as you might imagine, we've built up a reasonable backlog of people who've wanted this, and we're now, as of today, I think, getting people live. If it then depends on which version of Fixflo they're on. So it'll be a conversation with one of our team. Are you on Fixflo Professional, Essentials, or Basic? Which is the one you want to integrate? There may be some data cleanse on our side if you're already using Fixflo Professional, for example, but that's all covered within your setup fee for it. And again, there's no ongoing additional monthly cost, but please get in touch. We'd love to speak with you. And we should be getting, and this, I know this is Whale-esque in terms of stats, but I genuinely believe that getting one mutual client live a day is entirely reasonable and achievable because it's been designed the right way.
Lee, from a Reapit point of view, just to get in there, and I just think about the one a day thing and the pipeline you built for client accounts when I joined. But from a Reapit point of view, you think of Agency Cloud and the menu bar down the left hand side. There's now an additional icon that says apps. You click on that. Apps takes you to the marketplace. There'll be one for Fixflo in there. You can click on that, and if you've got the administration rights, you can click install. You've got the Fixflo installation in place, and then it's down to coordinate with Raji's team to set that up. But it's very much that one-click install. And while you're in the marketplace, you can obviously browse and see what else is in there. But importantly, if you haven't got the administration rights, because some companies obviously have different levels, you don't want just any negotiator necessarily installing those. There will be someone in the business who can do that. So obviously, if you see the Fixflo integration, want to be using it, but you can't install it, obviously go speak to that person in your business and ask them if you can.
My knockoff copy must not have that enabled, Matt. You'll have to.
I think you're still using RPS 10 and Fox Pro.
I've sold it twice this week. It's actually I have seen it, and what I like is that sometimes this can be, as I said, it can be quite in the background kind of stuff, and it's difficult for the clients to do it. I do think the time and effort you've put in on things like the all the educational, all the what do you call it, the research points about it really backs it up really well. There's everything you could possibly need. We, as you know, Matt, a couple of our supplier partners have been working with you, been really helping them out, and they are blown away by the level of professionalism that you have put a lot of time and effort. And look, as ever, of course, it's never happening as quickly as it could do for the clients. But I think the really exciting point is you're really at that juncture now where you can start just rolling this stuff out, can't you?
No, absolutely, and that's the partner's point of view. I think with the agents, it's even more subtle because everything's like a back end type stuff. For most users, I'll just say that like a small app icon has just appeared in your menu bar. Maybe you don't spot that on a day-to-day basis, but the power of installing those apps, and obviously we've got integrations like Raji's, but we've got a number of partners who built apps that replace screens, whether it's the ID check with an AML. And that's so subtle you might not realise, but it's there. And that we've got partners coming online all the time as well. We had 5 in the first week of this month went live, so it's quite exciting in that respect.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. Well, look, that's fantastic, guys. I think what we need to do, isn't it? And when you get those, and as I was just about to say, Raj, Matt will tell you that I never undersell a stat. You need to be doing more than one a day. So come on, we'll push on with that. When you've got a few of those and they've been using it for a while, can we have a catch up with them on one of our panel shows and talk to them about straight from the horse's mouth? I think that's always
absolutely love to do that.
Also, here we are. We've got Ed Mead, who knows his thing. I take he's only turned up for you again here, Raj. What a triumvirate. And I'll go and have a look what that means afterwards. Thanks, Ed.
I think you need a cream for that, don't you?
Excellent. I think it's fantastic to see. It must be dead exciting, obviously, to see. It's we've had the behemoth that's out there in the wider world of obviously of Salesforce that has proudly spoke about its platform, and what you've got now. If anything, I've used Salesforce, and it ain't the easiest thing to get those third-party integrations up. The way that it passes the Simon Whale test, as you just said there, Matt, you can log into that toolbar, go have a browse around and see 100% relevant apps to this marketplace is really good.
Yeah. It looks like you've slightly melted there, Simon, but maybe that's my connection. It's
it's nearly 11 o'clock. It's time for his first G&T.
4 days till T minus 4 days. Well, before broadband gives up on us, I'll just say anyone who's interested in knowing more, or maybe not a Reapit client or a Fixflo client, you can go to either of their landing pages on obviously Kerfuffle. There's an I'm interested button. Click on that and we'll pass you through to Raj or Matt's teams to help you out with these inquiries. And of course, as they said, anyone who wants to find out more about the integration as mutual clients, just go to the App Store, talk to their account managers.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you very much for spending your time. Very exciting. Let's catch up with the next exciting update.
Thank you very much. Cheers,
guys. Thank you.
Bye.